what an amazing opening session today. Thank you, Nancy Duarte, for joining us right here. What a treat to get to talk to you right after you come off stage. And I was saying before, as we were getting set, I loved that you ended with Martha Graham.
Yeah.
I'm a dancer, and to talk about that ugly.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important to us as speakers. That the more raw that we are, the more giving we are to the audience. That's when, as you talked about the resonance, and oftentimes we get advice as speakers that we have to be a certain way.
To be slick or to be
right. We have to be corporate, or we have to fit in a box. And I loved what one of the other speakers talked about. You know, we're all figured out we were weird at some point in our life, and that's where we are. So I so appreciate what you did. Could you tell me a little bit about how did you start doing all of this research into what resonates and the analysis of the speech?
You know, so my shop, I have a firm, we're a creative agency, we have about 100 people that write and produce presentations. So we've done hundreds of thousands of these talks. And I had that already as context. And when I dove in with storytelling, I went really deep. And there's a lot of patterns in storytelling. Besides the 3-act story structure, there's Joseph Campbell's work where there's an 18-part structure. There's Chris Vogler's work where he says there's a 12-part. So I knew there was a structure to story. And then I dove into speeches. So it was like a journey to go from my own work to story to speeches. And then one day I just saw it. I just knew it was there. I was looking at all the different forms of contrast, and then I could categorize the different forms of contrast, and then I do the shape. It was a real moment in my life. It was a real moment for me.
And how amazing to look at all of these famous, iconic speeches and say, look, it works. And then to give it back to us to say, it can work for you too, is such a gift to really think about, oh, am I doing that? So for our people who are watching at home and maybe they haven't been to an NSA conference yet, maybe they're just in the start of their career, is there something that you could share in terms of how to really start that storytelling part of our...
I think it's a bit like what I was saying at the end, where you have to believe you can do it. Because if you don't get past your own belief systems, you'll never even try.
Absolutely true.
So I'm hoping anyone that's here or in this business believes they can. So first is to believe you can, and then second is to really know who you're speaking to, and do you have credibility, resonance with those with that group, and do you have a good idea in the first place? I get all the time, Nancy, get me into TED. I want to do a TED talk. Well, do you have a good idea? Well, no, I'm going to work on that, but just get me. It's like, no, you kind of have to have a big idea, and then we'll talk.
And really knowing who you're going to resonate with, so you can tailor it to that. That's so brilliant the way that you talked about that.
Who do you need to move on your behalf? Who needs to move on your behalf to get your idea to be reality? You need to know who that is.
The other part I really appreciated was what you talked about, you're not the hero of the story. And I think it's easy to get caught up in I'm on the stage and all the applause, and that's all great, but we stand in service to our audience. And was there something that brought that really close to mind for you?
I think I've had my own failures more on the internal side as a communicator, where when you're a leader, sometimes you just command everyone move, and no, we really have to be somewhere else in 18 months or we'll fail. And my own fits and starts and friction I've created based on how I've communicated. I've realized that if it bubbles up from the collective, you plant the little seeds, and when it bubbles up from them, it becomes reality. It's not,
how are you?
It's really been from internal failures on vision meetings and updates, and my team is in this business, so they're good at giving me critical feedback, and it was pre-Twitter. That's how I got my critical feedback, so my team cared enough to turn me into a communicator. So I was always kind of, did you see Wizard of Oz when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah,
where the man behind the curtain is making Oz look powerful. So that was me for years. I was making executives look powerful, but I was the one behind the curtain, and I had to come out from the curtain. The presentation lady needs to present and feel what it's like to be a presenter. So
absolutely. Excellent. All right, so we have 2 more minutes with you, and thank you so much for being with us. As a speaker, as someone who has moved into this career, do you have any advice for somebody who's just starting out?
I would say find something that you care deeply enough about to work hard on your communication skills. So you may be a speaker as your day job.
Yes.
You may not love it, and you may just be working on your craft. But either invent something or find something that really makes you passionate, because that's when you'll incrementally make a leap, is when you have something that's so meaningful to you that you'll care more, the most, about how it's communicated.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much
you.
for your work today.
It's nice
it was
to meet
amazing.
you.
Thank you very much, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. I will.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.